Making his return visit, he's been on hiatus for a very much part of the summer, is my good buddy Pat Port, and he's brought some friends with him. Pat,
Hey, what's up, bud?
what's up with you, sir?
Man, same old stuff, different
Welcome
day.
back to WJOBHQ.
Why, thank you. It's good to be back.
All right, well, tell us who's here with you.
Well, I have the amazing Stephanie Pucka Owens, who plays Tina in the Genesius Guild production of Operation Redneck.
Right on.
And the director of that project, which is Matt Byerly.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I guess we'll start off with Matt first. Matt, tell us a little bit about this production that's currently going on.
Well, the closest thing that I can compare it to is a good, clean night of fun that, if you like the blue-collar comedy tour, it's a lot along those lines. It's the story of a gal who grew up in a small town, went off to college in a big city, and she met somebody there and has been going back and forth and visiting with him. But one day there's a letter that arrives in the mail that says, guess what? I'm coming to visit you in your hometown.
Oh.
And that sets up a whole big problem because they're not entirely sure whether the man will survive his encounter or if he'll be shot on sight.
Ah.
So they come up with the plan to launch Operation Redneck.
Nice.
The best way to make him survive is to turn him into one of the locals. And it's interesting to see what happens when a city boy goes country or not quite. So
Attempts to launch but fails.
yeah.
All right, I got you. Excellent, excellent. Stephanie, correct?
Yep.
Who are you in the show, and tell us a little about your character.
I'm Tina.
Here, get into the mic there, girl. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Go ahead. Now tell me.
I'm Tina. I'm the airhead friend that doesn't quite get anything that's going on, but tries to help.
You're just trying to help out the friends in need, right? Gotcha, gotcha. What do you like about your character?
I'm a little too much like it. It scares me.
I was about. She leads into my next question, which I was going to ask: is there any part of the character that you identify with?
Yeah, a lot. I talk a lot like my character.
All right, Pat, my friend. Exactly who are you, and why should we care? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you know what? You should care because I am. No,
all right,
I'm
all
just
right.
joking.
What's up?
Well,
Tell me.
I play the character Jacob. I'm this very liberal lawyer that comes from New York City to Podunk, Texas.
Really?
That basically is the boyfriend that they try to keep from getting shot by the locals.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I ensue all the madness and chaos. It's lovely.
Well, I saw the show last night, and I promise, Matt, I'm not going to give anything away because I know you want people to come out and see it. So I'll keep the suspense still very minimum. I don't want to give anything away. But last night, me and my girl went and saw you to support you last night. It was absolutely hysterical. You're absolutely right, Matt. If you're into the blue collar thing, it is definitely up your alley. Very funny stuff.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. But Pat, with your character, is there anything specifically that you identified with him? I mean, is there any part of you that you see in that character?
Well, I think I see a lot of myself in the character of Jacob, just on how he's very love-strong and willing to do anything to make his girlfriend happy, even though if it goes incredibly awry and a bunch of shenanigans and tomfoolery, as we call it, goes along with it. I think that's how I relate to the character. Also, just with all the jokes and the random, I guess you would call it sarcasm that goes along with it.
Okay,
I
fair enough.
think kind of that's how we go hand in hand.
Okay. I guess I can ask all three of you. You guys can answer it and from a director standpoint. What's the feel amongst the cast? I mean, are you guys bonding relatively well?
No,
Yeah.
I think that, well, I'll say this is actually my first time in the director's chair.
Oh, okay.
I've actually been involved in community theater ever since I graduated from high school, but never before have I actually directed anything. So it's 12 years worth of acting or working backstage, but this is the first time that I was crazy enough to take charge of something. And luckily I had a bunch of crazy people to go under the direction with me.
That always helps.
But they have done a wonderful job putting together the show. Some of the people that are in the cast, actually, it's the first time that they've acted in a number of years. In some cases, it's actually the first time they've done any community theater at all. So it's been an interesting thing to see the growth of their characters and the bonding of people backstage, too. It made my job as a director much easier that everyone really got along great. The social bonding that took place, the friendships that were formed really happened almost immediately and made the chemistry on stage work all that much better.
Very good. Matt, were there any challenges from a director standpoint with this particular production that you're doing? You said it's your first one. Were there any kind of challenges that came up that presented themselves?
Well, there's always challenges. I think that for me personally, sometimes balancing the visual elements along with the story can be a challenge, because theater is an emotional medium, a physical medium, but also a very visual thing. And I wanted to make sure that all of the audience was able to catch everything, or at least as much as possible, because there are some jokes that really move fast in this production. Good jokes, and I want to make sure they get as much of it as possible. Sometimes dealing with the physicality of it too, because it is a comedy, and there are some physical comedy elements to it, and that presented a challenge. Luckily, I had a vision for it, and the actors worked with me to put it together. And one of the actors actually has some experience in doing some more physical theater. He's done a lot of things with shadow casts for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and has worked a lot on doing some physical things for those productions, so he knew how to do a lot of fight choreography. That was the gentleman who's playing JJ, the redneck of the production. And so Rodney, the guy who's playing JJ, worked a lot with Pat to work out the physical choreography, as I kind of guided what this was my basic idea, and the two of them said, okay, how far can we take this without breaking a bone?
Yes.
And every night I still hold my breath when they go into some elements to wonder, okay, is the set going to be broken? Are they going to be broken?
What's the insurance policy on the... Never mind. Never mind. Better not ask.
Well, his list is getting longer and longer of stuff he's broke, so...
I heard that last night as we were heading out, and we met with some of you guys last night. You guys were saying that the list keeps growing every night. And how many more weeks you got to go?
Well, we have the show tonight and a show tomorrow afternoon, and we have 3 more shows next weekend. The Friday and Saturday shows are at 8 o'clock, and Sunday shows are at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, matinee.
Excellent. Matt, why don't you give us the location of where it's at, and that way anyone who wants to check it out this weekend or next knows where to go.
Well, the Genesius Guild is actually housed at the First United Methodist Church in Hammond. That's located at 6635 Hohman Avenue. And you can actually find out some more information by visiting genesiusguild.com. And they have information there, links to how you can call for tickets, find out information on reservations, and actually find out about the rest of the season, too, because they have 3 more productions scheduled in Hammond, and actually 1 joint production they're going to be doing with the Community Theater Guild in Valparaiso. That's the first time that community theater groups in the area have actually jointly produced something. So it's a unique project the Guild's going to take on later this year.
Excellent. I was just about to ask you, what are some upcoming shows that are set up for Genesius? So go ahead.
Glad you give me the plug opportunity.
You
Not
got
only
it.
am I a director, but I'm also a client.
There you go.
I am a board member for the Genesius Guild as well, so I'm
okay.
glad to let people know about what's going on. In February, they're going to be doing a production of Gilbert and Sullivan's Pirates of Penzance, which will be the next production that we're doing for the Guild. Following that, in the spring, they're going to do a production of Doubt, which some people might be familiar with the film that was done a couple years ago with Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's a wonderful production, a deep drama that's actually set in the Catholic Church and deals with conflicts in perception and in choices in life. Following that, in the summer, they're going to do a production of Chess, which is a rock and roll musical, which is actually written lyrics by Tim Rice and the music by Bjorn Usvalis, who is one of the members of ABBA. So I like to refer to it as the original ABBA musical, because he wrote the music for this. It's not just a jukebox thing that they took their songs and threw it together. But it's actually set around a chess match during the Cold War. And the battles that ensue on that intellectual stage, as well as the close conflicts that you have between the CIA and the KGB behind the scenes. It's really kind of an interesting show. And they're going to also do, like I said, the joint thing that they're doing in May in Valparaiso at the Community Theater Guild there at the Chicago Street Theater. The Genesius Guild is partnering with them on a production called A Picasso, which is actually a 2-person play that deals with, based on some true stories, of an art exhibition that was to take place during World War II of Pablo Picasso's artwork, and it was supposed to take place in Germany. He was solicited for a specialized art exhibit.
No kidding.
What was not told was that specialized art exhibit was dealing with the Department of Propaganda, and the exhibit was a bonfire.
Oh.
So it's interesting
one of
to see
those.
how it interacts. The Guild is looking forward to seeing how the season goes with all of those different opportunities for people to enjoy the arts.
Now I know Genesius has a Facebook. They have a main website, a phone number if anyone's interested? You mentioned before.
Yes, and oh shoot, I forget the phone number off the top of my head.
That's right. Give us the website.
But
That'll
the
work.
website, as I said, is genesiusguild.com. And actually, I may have the phone number on my phone. If you give me a minute, you
Sure.
can ask somebody
Let
else
me talk
another
to
question,
Steph.
and I'll find it out.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll talk to Steph. Are you one of the people Matt mentioned that's been out of acting for a little while, or
Yeah.
when was the last thing you did? Oh, you're wearing
Middle school.
it. What is it?
Middle school. I did
Oh.
Renfield.
Renfield.
I
Oh.
was assistant director and an understudy, so I only performed one night.
What was your character?
I don't remember. I just was one of the students.
Oh, you were just. Oh, okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. And okay, Pat, with you, you just got off your summer kick of being out of town, visiting all the different states. Tell us a little bit about that.
Touring was wonderful. We did a show called Music in the Air. It was basically an operetta. We started off in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and headed out west for a month or two. It was really great getting to see the entire West Coast, and it's not every day you can wake up, go outside, and have breakfast with the pelican and the sea otters. So
Hopefully not, right?
Right.
Not landing in your lap anyway.
hey, it was a lifetime experience, though.
Better than a breakfast of pelican and sea otters.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's right. What's on tap for you, Pat? What in your production? I know you were telling me a little bit about it last night. What's on the tap for you as an actor?
Oh man, after this show's done, you mean?
Yes.
Well, after this, we have Sunset Boulevard, which is happening in November over at the Marion Theater Guild in Whiting. Between that, we have the NEDIF Gala, which is basically a huge theater awards, basically like the Tonys, but like focusing on the Northwest Indiana Theater Association for basically a huge celebration
Excellent.
of theater. And then after that, who knows? Sky's the limit.
You're just a busy guy.
Hey, what can I say? I like to keep busy in this
Yes, you
whole
do.
industry.
All right. How's it working alongside your cast in this show?
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you, some of these people here are divas. Oh, no, just joking. We have a great cast.
Present company accepted, I'm
know,
sure.
Of course.
We have a great cast. I mean, we have people like Jasmine Barnett Birdsong. We have another who plays Beth, who's the sarcastic, witty one in the show. We have a gentleman called Rip. He's
Rip Johnson.
Rip Johnson. He's playing Paul, who is like, he is the perfect person to play Paul. I kid you not. He's like one of the Beverly Hillbillies in this show. It is excellent, and just how he portrays the character is wonderful.
All right.
We have my love interest in the show, if she's listening, hopefully. We have the lovely Hermina Robinson, who plays Julie, the big town girl, who comes back home to all this chaos and panic and love that ensues. We have her brother, Rodney Robinson, who plays JJ, the ultimate redneck, who, if you want, like the typical Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White, Bill
in.
Engvall, Jeff Foxworthy mixture,
Yeah.
he's the perfect guy for you.
Excellent.
And then we have Stephanie
Yes, Stephanie.
as Tina.
And JJ plays your love interest in the play, right?
Yep.
How's that working out for you?
It's funny.
It's been interesting because they actually have known each other for a long time. They were friends before.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's been interesting and fun to see, like I said, the growth of all these people as actors and what they've brought to their characters. There were times that I was sitting there wondering who I was going to cast in what role, and I have to say I came really close to debating. Okay, is Rodney going to be the attorney or the redneck, or is Pat going to be the attorney or the redneck? Because both of them did a wonderful job with it.
Oh, really?
But I'm glad I made the decisions that I did, and they're bringing great stuff to their characters. And
They fit their characters too well.
yeah, if anybody's seen Pat in other things in the area, because he has done quite a bit of theater in the area, he is very, very good at doing some physical things on stage, and he gets to excel at doing some of that physical comedy in this show. And as I said, Rodney playing JJ does a wonderful job bringing the redneck out and really bringing some physicality there too. Although his is not necessarily as comedic intentionally. Sometimes you wonder, I don't want to run into this guy if he was really irked.
Probably not, no. And you're right, man. I saw him last night. Yeah, he does that. He fits that mold easily. I mean, he didn't even have to try too hard to get it down pat. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming by. I know you got a show tonight. I'm not going to keep you too long because you guys got to get going. But, Matt, did you find the number?
Yes, I did. The Genesius Guild actually has an 800 number, or a toll-free number. It's 877-724-7715. And you can call that number at any time and leave a message as to which date you would like to see the show, and they will call you about the availability of tickets. As I said, there's a show at 8 o'clock this evening, 3 o'clock tomorrow, and then 8 o'clock next Friday and Saturday, and 3 o'clock on that Sunday as well.
Excellent. Very good.